Right, okay, now you should hear me, and you should hear Mike,
Hello.
Who's
and we should hear Chris,
hello,
and we
hello.
should hear John, and we're waiting for Ben to be back in a moment. So, what you didn't hear, you haven't missed much, was that they looked at the body of the Cadoran Order of Illumination investigator, or like investigator slash witch hunter. And John, you've taken the guy's sword. And Mike, you've taken the very rather basic pistol and shot. And you have just got lost in the woods a bit. So we're basically needing another perception plus tracking roll.
Okay.
I can't do worse than that last one, literally.
A grand 11 this time. It's one better than last time.
And I made 10.
I'm lost in the woods.
I'd help you guys, but my father only taught me how to read naval maps.
Okay.
That's my excuse too. I was in the Navy, not the land Navy.
Yeah, I
So
can
if you can
relate.
find a river, you'll be fine.
We'll just wait for Ben, because obviously he said he was dealing with his cat being a maniac, which is understandable, because my cat's a complete asshole sometimes.
Can't believe we're derailing the adventure because we can't follow a map.
All
All right.
right, I'll make a roll. I'm not trained in tracking though, so this is not gonna be good.
You got this.
Kato, let me see that map. I think I can do this. No, I can't.
What
I
did
got
you get?
9. I got a 9.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you have the map, and you've had... It just meant that you're going to have lost some time, which is more important.
Don't worry, I know which way we're going. You've got my map upside down.
Meanwhile, while we wait for Ben, is there anything interesting from that's currently on Kickstarter or anything out that's very interesting for any of the games that we're involved in that's worth promoting? Chris, anything interesting from Onyx Path? I know Adventure just wrapped up recently.
Just finished. I am not sure. I don't think there's anything else on at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not 100% sure what's coming next or when. So yeah, Adventure is literally just finished up. Obviously, people can still get onto stuff on BackerKit and the like.
Of course.
Later and like
And there were tons of stretch goals that have been gone through, and more books and things coming. I know that from Cubicle 7, they put up a picture that Death on the Reich hard copies are now shipping to people, which is very cool. Because if you're interested in that, that's mostly because you'll be also quite interested in the fact that David runs a Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition Enemy Within campaign. Death on the Reich is the second part of that campaign, and Mike is currently playing through the first part, and you're still in Bogenhafen, and I've not caught up yet with what's going on in Bogenhafen.
We're still at the festival.
Still at the festival, fucking hell.
5 sessions at the festival.
5 sessions at the festival. Jesus Christ! Right, that's
have
good.
a brag.
We do have a brag.
But yeah, and to fight, we'll wrap up the promoting things as we just get back into this. This coming Saturday, Sunday is Swansea Comics and Games Convention, which is virtual again, that I took part in last year. I'll be doing some stuff. I'm running a panel with the likes of Fiona, who plays in the Fiona Howard, who plays in the Warhammer game that we stream. We also have what have I blanked on? Who else is in that? We have Steffi Devan, and we have who's a developer and writer for Onyx Path, and we also have Howard Ingham, who is a previous writer for Onyx Path and is a notorious writer of all things about horror and folk horror, and we're going to be doing something about basically it's about how you tackle things like politics and representation, like ethnicity and sexism and classism in fantasy RPGs and sci-fi RPGs, using initially Warhammer as the frame of reference, because we've already spoken about this before, Mike, about how like the Strigani are pretty much they Roma. Oh yeah, it's a
Yeah,
bit tricky.
It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, but it's things like that, and this links into the recent things of like, are orcs a racist stereotype? Well, it depends how you use them. I don't think orcs in Warhammer are too racist because they're actually taking the piss out of English football hooligans, in the 80s. But anyway, and there's also a game of Soulbound that I'm running for that, which Ben, you will be playing in. So tune in for that, and that will be on this Twitch channel. That game, the Soulbound game, the panel will be on the Swansea Comics and Games Convention Twitch. Anyway, you head off through the forest, and the forest gives way to a cleared space of land that was once a small farmstead. So you've finally found your way, got yourself orientated. It was obviously abandoned some time ago, as the area is overgrown with weeds and scrub. At the heart of the farmstead sits a large barn, surrounded by a crumbling low stone wall. Also within the wall is a small shed, an animal pen, and a mouldering stack of hay bales. Both buildings are quite dilapidated, and there is a large hole in the eastern wall of the barn that looks fairly recent, as if something has smashed out of it. The scene is dominated by a commotion of a fierce battle, a group of armed men and a towering warjack. The warjack holds what appears to be the body of a man in grey robes in one hand, and is fending off the guards with lashing blows from a large spear in its other hand. There are two corpses to the side of it, each clothed similarly to the mortally wounded, illuminated one that you met earlier.
Oh, that's right, because he had two buddies with him. All right, everyone, get down, get down.
You hear the unmistakable sound of a human scream, or human screams, coming from within the barn.
It's the Steamjack. Does it look like the Steamjack is killing the last Illuminates, or is it with the soldiers, or is it?
The other people there are not Order of Illumination. They look like
fighting,
bandits. They look like
it attacking them, or is it?
It's attacking them. Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Oh. That changes everything. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we have bandits. We have a warjack that is killing people, and someone is screaming inside the barn. How far out are we from this place?
Oh, you're. Let's say you're about somewhere in the order of about 50 meters away at the edge of the tree line.
Yeah.
I guess we better get closer. We're not going to do an awful lot from out here, are we?
Yeah, definitely. Boy. And just to clarify, Chris, so warjacks are like these cool, stumpy mecha robots, but they also have like a cortex and a kind of consciousness, right?
Correct.
So
that is correct. Warjacks have a rudimentary sense of intelligence bestowed by a cortex, which is a construction of mechanica, so it uses all manner of alchemical and magical machinery to give it a intelligence which is akin to, I guess you could say, to a well-trained dog most times. And so they can do basic labor tasks or, fight quite happily.
Right. So if we go charge in there, it'll probably, we could reason with it. It might recognize our Order of Illumination symbols that we all have in our back pockets.
Yeah. Warjack, for those of you who, Mike, you'll have, Zacharias will recognize, it's a battered version, but I think it's a Talon, which is a typical warjack that uses uses a spear as its armament, which is common within the Lealese mercenary forces.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yep.
So it's not a heavy warjack. It's a standard medium light warjack.
It's laying about into the people.
Oh yeah, it's fighting them.
Bandits.
And as you're watching and you're going to start approaching, I guess, quietly, keeping low to the ground.
No, I say we just go right in there.
You go right in there.
We
okay.
start fighting the bandits.
Kato's
probably, yeah.
Kato's already moving because Kato's like.
I'm right behind him.
Okay. As you approach, one of the men fighting Warjack is struck with the haft of the spear, and it's knocked against the barn door, causing it to swing wide open. And from there, from where your position as you're getting closer, you get a clear view of the barn's interior. There's some low tables strewn with alchemical equipment. There's large vats. There are various bits of mechanica sparking and crackling. And manacled to the west wall are two figures, a boy and a girl, in tattered clothes that are sooty. And those children obviously look like twins. They are screaming in terror as the battle continues outside. As you get closer, the Warjack again turns round, trying to slam its spear into more of the men before it then sets off and quite soundly leaps over the wall, like strides over the wall, and heads off into the woods. And of course, the guards turn round and they spot you approaching. So we can now do a little bit of combat, and this is the fun of I've got one thing on one laptop and one thing on another, and I always get confused on which mouse am I using today. Right, so I need to put some counters down on the on our Roll20. Let's see.
I've dragged the view for everyone onto the appropriate battle map.
I can. Where's our assets? There we go. We want a 30mm. There we go. Is that added onto the sheet?
And if you just drag it onto the actual thing, so you want some 30mm.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I've got one there. Okay, and we can turn him to face a bit. There. And that one I'm going to put there. And everyone else's characters can be basically placed, at the entrance to the farmstead or at the walls, depending upon what you want to be doing. I can imagine that Kato wants to be in cover, taking pot shots at people.
Okay, so how do we pull where do we find our dudes to put them on the map?
If you drag and hold your character's name and drag it onto where you want it to appear on the map, it will.
I am not seeing my character's name anywhere. Where do I find that?
Underneath the compendium, which is the third bar across, the one that looks like a little. The journal. Underneath the one there should be a thing that says characters. If you click that to open it up.
I am only seeing Kato under there.
Okay, don't worry. I'll grab people onto that.
Have I accidentally assigned people the wrong one? That's entirely possible.
I'm adding people on there now.
Oh, there we go. I see.
Yeah, I might have accidentally assigned people the wrong thing.
Yeah, because I've got Finch, so it's okay. We'll figure it out.
It doesn't really matter because you should have your characters on the. I think you can move each other's characters, can you not?
No, I can't move anyone's.
It's fine. I'm sorting it out now.
Okay, good. Right. So you are all right now. You've run up the out of the clearing. You've run up to the farmstead, and you can take some initial positions. I imagine, as I said, Kato, you're going to want to be at the wall, taking some cover.
I forgot I was muted. So is that within 60 feet of my pistol?
60 feet is what's that going to be in inches? I wonder.
Are these 5-foot squares?
They are inch squares, appropriate for the sizing of this.
My range is 10 on the Mage Rock. Sorry, so that's 10 inches.
Yeah, you're in.
So
yeah.
Currently, you're just out of range.
Then I'm going to probably.
Are you sure? Because I think.
You're
in 55 inches. Yeah, you want to move to there.
If I move to the barrel, that should give me enough range.
Yeah. That'll be like 7 inches of movement. What's your move?
My move is Is it based off physicality?
There you go. Everything should be set up.
Your
in
move
inches now.
should be based on that, I
Sweet.
believe.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
It's been a while since I actually looked at the character sheet to know what move is based off, because it's been a while since we've used it.
Yeah, same.
Movement, blah, 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 blah. No, it's your speed. SPD. Yeah, that's why. I'm using the wrong terminology. It's speed.
All right, then I will be slightly in the open, but I'm going to move here. We're just 1 square short of the barrel.
Okay, cool. So I'll just plop...
Should we be rolling initiative and the like?
I'm going to let you do a little bit of an initial... You can do an initial kind of placement as you run up, because that's your kind of surprise action. I'm going to let you just move into position.
Okay, cool.
And these tokens that we're looking at, that's just... These are the illumination guys, or are these something else?
Oh, each of those is the bandits. They are a ragtag group of not soldiers, but they look like mercenaries.
Curiously professional and capable bandits.
Mm-hmm. Then when I get a chance to shoot, I'm going to take a shot at that first one.
Okay, the bandits' initiative then, I've just rolled, is a 14, is a 18, is a 21. And for everyone else, just roll 2d6 and add your initiative.
$24.
Excellent.
23.
23.
Okay, so just some interesting things. The hay bales, if you run to those, will provide you. They're not going to provide you much. They'll provide you cover. They're unstable to climb atop, which means they could collapse if you climb up them because they're mouldering. The shed and everything else. There's no windows to the shed. And obviously you could, if you want, climb up onto the roof quite happily. And the wall itself, just to know, the wall is 6 foot high. The wall around the farmstead is 6 foot high. So if you want to climb over it, you have to do an agility plus climbing roll. But you could stand on top of the wall if you wanted.
So let's go. Starting with Finch. What was your initiative?
23.
23. Kato.
23.
Zach.
24.
I'm on a nice 19.
Oof.
So,
Trollkin.
What does Zach want to do then?
Can I delay my action until someone is might be in front of me?
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
I'll probably delay until after Bragg. I'll just go last this turn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so then it's Kato or Finch.
Are you planning to run off somewhere?
I am going to run forward and then take a shot, yeah.
Right, let me have a think about what I'm going to do then. Range 6. If you know what you're doing, go ahead and do it while I figure out what I'm doing.
All right, yeah, I'm going to run forward toward that position I said I was at, and then I'm going to take a shot at the first bandit. That guy.
Okay.
Blue.
So you're just going to literally run round the through the entrance and then up to the barrels. Yeah. So let's just move you to kind of there because it's not quite enough movement to get to the barrels.
That's fine.
So you're
then,
on the left there. Okay. Yep.
And then I'm going to do something probably really silly, but the spells I'm slotting in are Accuracy, Brutal, and Thunderbolt.
Oh, wow.
I want to get their attention on me.
Yep.
All right. Go. First shot. Not bad. That's not bad. That is a 19.
And they have a defense of... It's not going to be that high.
I hope
No,
that
you've
hits,
definitely hit. You've definitely hit. So this crackling bolt of electrified shot, slams into the guard, into this mercenary. Right. So damage.
All right.
It
That
wasn't a
is-
critical, was it?
No.
No. So there's no slam effect.
They are pushed back. They're not knocked down.
Okay. Good.
All right. Power 10 plus. That is 23.
23.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Isn't a one.
The shot, this powerful bolt of lightning that you fire out from your pistol blows a hole in his chest, cauterizing the wound immediately, killing the mercenary. And roll a d3 because that's how far he'll be thrown back.
3.
3. So he'll be thrown back essentially to there. Yeah.
It was not his day.
So he's dead. So we can remove that. Okay. Next up to act then is Finch.
Okay. So first thing I'm doing is I am casting Aura of Protection, pings up. So my control radius is 8. So while anyone who is in 8 of me when you get hit, you get the +2 armor from Aura of Protection. It's an aura rather than like a ping and then done. What do these guys look like they're armed with?
They are armed.
quick glance.
Some of them are armed with axes or swords. They are carrying though rifles.
Ooh, we don't like that very much. Rifles are not okay. But on the other hand, they can. If I put it on the cloud, they'll just move through it, so I can't really get a good control over the area. And the bandits are going to go after me. If I run forward and do magic, I'm going to get shot, aren't I?
Yeah, they'll see you as a real threat. Yeah.
6. Okay. Yeah, so I guess one of the questions is going to be how much cover do we want in this initial turn, or how much do we just want to try and kill them ASAP?
That is a firing squad.
Yeah, isn't it just? AoE 3. When an AoE's in this game, is it a radius or a diameter when you get a value? 'Cause I have an AoE 3, and I'm not sure if that's 3 inches across or 6 inches across in total.
It's a 3 inches across.
Okay. Still, who's gonna? And Bragg isn't even gonna get to move before these guys go. Do I move again? I'm sorry about trying to refresh the rules. Movement. Can I move, spell, or how does that work?
You can. No, you have to do one move. You can action move or move action.
In that case, I will move to action, move, action. Oh, so I can do all my spells and then do my movement. Was that?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
You just can't break up your movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem I have is if I block Bragg, they're going to shoot Kato, and Kato's going to get splattered. It's like whoever I save, someone else gets shot. Bragg, how bulletproof are you feeling?
Save the gun mage.
Right. What's the range on this? Control. I have to get in there as well myself in that case. No shit. I can't get close enough. I'll get shot. Damn it. Okay, I'm having some problems with where to put like Ashen Cloud, so I think I'm going to have to try and kill one.
Okay.
To be honest, or possibly try and kill 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This could go horribly fucking wrong.
So you run through the entrance to the farmstead.
Yep.
Up to the right where there is the old animal pen.
Yep.
And in the shadow of the tree that's next to you, you're going to unleash some magical hell upon them.
Well, I'm tempted to just drop an Ashen Cloud and hide, but instead I'll try and do something more useful. So runes crackle around Finch's hands, forming concentric circles in a new pattern, and I'm firing a force hammer at
God.
this poor fellow, with the knockback line being hopefully into the building if it works. So let's start. I'm going to boost the attack roll first on force hammer. That's quite a lot. That's 19.
Well, that's a hit.
Yeah. Now this does a power 12 hit, but it also knocks him back. And if he hits something, it adds a d6 of damage. It's not
correct.
It's just extra d6. He goes 3 inches.
That's definitely into the wall.
Yep. So I am going to boost the damage for a grand total of 24.
Jesus. Yeah, he is totally dead.
Smash into the wall.
Force Hammer is just a pure bolt of arcane energy, isn't it?
It's a telekinetic smash.
Yeah, you slam him and he goes flying into the barn, through the wall, splintering the wood, and you hear his body likely crash and crumple into the alchemical equipment behind it. So he is...
That's telekinesis, Kyle.
Yes. Now I need to make an exhaustion roll. I rolled 10. I am not exhausted.
Yay.
It doesn't actually have any major effects because I can't do anything more meaningful this turn, but I'm not exhausted anyway. So,
wow,
having run
cool.
forward, smash that guy in, and then waiting for horrible retaliatory death.
Because you made yourself present as you did that, these are no simple mercenaries. The one that you shot will get a shot off at you, because they have the ability called Sentry. Once per round, when an enemy is placed in or moves into line of sight, which you basically did, they get to make one attack against you. They have a rating of 6. What's your defense?
Okay, I have to actually look at that part of my sheet. Bragg isn't in the way for once. What's going on? My defense is 13.
Oh dear, sorry. I just rolled a double 6. I just critical hit you. So that's definitely a hit. There's no critical effect from this. Power 10. What's your armor?
10, so it's a flat damage roll then.
It does 8 damage.
Okay, roll to see which of my
Did
things
you
it goes
want to
into.
spend a feat point to make a heroic dodge? Because then
what does that do?
You halve the damage done.
I will do that. Do they refresh every session, feat points?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I will definitely halve that damage, so it's 4 damage then.
And
Tell me what...
remember, you also get back feat points if you incapacitate the enemy, score a critical hit, or do something really cool that I say have a feat point.
So when I then hit him with the Force Hammer, I get the feat point.
Yeah, you'll get it back, yeah.
Okay, so which arm... where did he hit me?
3.
Which in the 3, okay, that is painful, but I haven't lost my agility completely.
So you take 5 points of damage there, don't you?
5. Oh no, that's wiped my agility, so I am -2 to attack rolls.
Okay, cool. But then he fires
people's life force.
He fires a shot off as you then obliterate him.
Yeah.
Excellent. So next is the bandits, who one of them is going to try and shoot Kato.
I took less damage because I forgot I have +2 armor thing up.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, you do. Of course, you've got the force shield. So Kato, they're shooting at you. The first one gets a double 1, completely misses. The next one is going to... Well, they can see Bragg, because Bragg's about to be running towards them, so it's going to shoot at you now. Gets an 11. What's your defense?
13.
Oh, completely misses the big wall of hulking blue muscle. And the next one, having just seen his friend also, be smashed apart through the barn.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm getting that mixed up. My defense is 10, so it does hit me.
Oh, definitely hit you. Okay. Damage then is a total of 13 against your armor, and you're in the radius.
In the zone.
So you get +2.
Soaked by my armor and the magic of the spell. Then.
So the shot, just literally bounces off your armor. And the last one is going to shoot again at Finch.
Yep.
Gets an 11, and your defense is 12, isn't it?
Yep.
Completely
13,
misses you.
so,
yeah,
yep.
there. So they're done.
Yep.
Or how many of you fuckers can I kill this turn? Okay, so there's something about charging, isn't there, in this? Which
you can make a charge action.
Yeah.
Charging adds +3 to your speed.
Okay.
So, and
so
then
it's going to get me 8 inches, which is there.
And
Yep.
what am I thinking with charging? There's something else was particular with charging.
I think it boosts your damage roll.
If you get
I'm not
there.
quite sure.
Well, my speed is 5, which gives me 8 inches. That's as much as I can move this turn.
So you're literally just running forward, which is good.
I mean, I'm a melee class in this regard for the most part. You know, I'm built around closing combat and doing stuff. So that's my action. Is there any other sort of form of attack that I can do?
No, if you've done a charge, you can't shoot.
Never mind them. Not that it would be a great option anyway for me shooting.
What you could have done if you wanted is you could have done instead of a charge, your alternative is you can do in the feat-based, spend a feat point, and you can do something called run and gun, which is where you move up to twice your speed.
Oh. 2 more.
Instead of your speed during a full action. So that still allows you to shoot.
Okay, so that'd be 10 inches, which is 2 closer, and I get to make a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend the feat point to
so
do
you
that.
run forward and bring out your massive hand cannon.
Yeah, just my huge hand cannon, which is my trench pistol. So it's all sort of scrimshawed up along on the sides with the heroic actions of Bragg.
As you're doing that, one of the guys is using this sentry ability to shoot you because they've also got the ability to fast reload. So one of them, just as they've seen you do that, quickly reloads their rifle, points it at this hulk of a trollkin running towards them, and shoots, and completely misses. He pisses himself and misses.
Well, you were right that it was a firing squad.
Yeah, I get 13 to hit.
Well, that's a hit.
Nice.
But I rolled 2 5s, so I believe that's a crit.
That is a crit.
And then I need to look up.
A crit means you get your feat point back for doing this action.
Yep. That's always what we like to see. Okay, so my hand cannon has a power of 12.
Everything you're rolling is just damage then.
Yeah. So that is total of 7 on the dice, so that would be a total of 19 then. With the power of 12.
Yeah. So you kill one quite happily. The massive hand cannon.
The one that took a shot at me, sort of Bragg just dips down and just revenge and fires off a shot through his duster.
The shot which a hand cannon fires off is quite a large piece of lead, and it shears the merc's leg asunder. Gouts of blood and screams come from him, and then it is Zacharias who held his action sensibly.
That's right. I'm feeling a lot better now that Bragg is in front of me. So Zach has to move forward to be able to use this pistol that he recently looted. So he's just going to move up, not very far, but he's going to be behind Bragg. And then he'll just take a shot with his pistol at the far left guy who's not obscured by Bragg at all.
And you're not close enough for Bragg to do his defender. What's Bragg's defender ability? Is it his command range?
Actually, everyone is close enough for me to do my defender, because my defender is within 6 inches of me. Oh no, everyone's outside of it.
You see,
Yes,
placement. So I will let one of the guards also do a sentry shot then. At
Bummer. All right, let's resolve
at Zacharias. So let's do that. What's Zacharias' defense?
It is 12.
They hit you.
Ouch.
Straight on, they get a 12 to hit. And what's your armor?
11.
Plus 2, which makes it 13. So I'm rolling. Power is 10. So that's 17. 17 total, and we said your armor was
13. So
13.
4 damage.
4 damage to your 6.
Interestingly, so if you spend a feat point to heroic dodge, it halves the damage roll, not the end damage you've taken. So it would halve the 17 to 9, which would mean you don't take anything for a feat point.
Oh yeah, it halves the damage from the actual attack, not the damage roll. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So I guess that bullet it hit my intellect. So I think Zach got grazed on the head by that bullet
Yeah.
going by, but it's not enough to take out my intellect fully. So no penalty yet. And then Zach will levy his own pistol and return fire at the guy who just shot him.
Cool.
All right, so with my rat, that is a solid 12
Which is a hit.
against their defense. All right, and with the POW, that is a 20.
Which is very, very dead.
Oh, okay. This pistol's
Yeah.
pretty good.
You
just
eliminate that
annihilating
guy quite happily, so that guy there is gone.
Zacharias is clearly the James Bond of our age.
And we are back round then, and it's Zacharias to act first.
I actually think we're down to one person as well because we've killed 4 of them. And there was only 5 on the map in the first place. I think we missed killing.
Oh,
off
we've
the one
missed.
that
I
killed.
think we killed one. Oh yeah, we've missed one there, so he can be dead.
All right, well then Zach will just move up a little bit. That looks good right there, and just fire again. Well, do I have to take an action to reload, or is that?
You
quick
have to
action?
make a quick action to reload.
I quick action to reload last turn. Now I shoot.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a total miss. Let's just you guys didn't see that. I'm totally James Bond.
Okay,
Again,
and
if you
then
want to,
it is...
you can spend a feat point to re-roll it, but I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, just let Kato do his business. He's gonna, because you can literally use your quick action to just stand there and aim.
Yeah. So my turn, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. I'm going to. I forgot to declare it last turn, but quick action reload. And
Yep.
then, do I have a clear shot to the? Yeah, I do. Going right in the. Oop, that's the stretchy one. All right. Same combo. Keep it loud. All right. Accuracy shot. Go. Oh no. Well, I should still hit. Not as excited now. Rat 7. 14?
That's still a hit.
Close. Come on, dice. Let's do better than last roll. Oh, come on. Okay, that's 20.
And that is very, very dead.
I think my dice were taking pity on him, and it's like, ah, come on, you don't know this guy's story. Maybe he got drafted in these mercs.
Okay, so the last guard is shot and maimed by your shot, and slumps down. And before you is about, as I say, about 5, or there's actually more like a half dozen of these mercenaries. A ragtag bunch that they are. Plus, there are the illuminated ones. They're the 2 bodies of the Cadoran illuminated ones that you were expecting. So, what do you want to do? There's also the screaming children inside the barn.
Right. Primarily, I want to handle the kids, but are we at all worried about that warjack? Because, like, there's a lot
Yes.
of dead here.
Yes. I'm worried about the warjack, I have to admit.
The barn's not on fire, right?
No, the barn's fine.
Okay. Then I'm gonna actually proceed on ahead in the direction that the warjack went, just to keep a distance, but like, try to keep an eye on it.
Okay, so you're going to go track the warjack. Okay.
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, what does everyone else want to do?
I think Bragg and me are going to go save these kids.
While they're
Yeah.
doing that, I'm looking with great curiosity at this massive hole here and this other massive hole in the wall here, which isn't presumably what the warjack made, because the warjack was bimbling around in front of the place and then went over the wall.
Oh yeah,
There's multiple holes in walls, in fact.
the warjack from the size of the hole here. Sorry, the size of the hole. Where? How do I ping?
You just hold the. You
Oh
click
yeah,
and
that's
hold.
it. You see that? There we go.
I'm not seeing it, but for whatever reason.
There we
oh,
go.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did guess
So
it.
that is that hole is big enough for the warjack to have burst from, and it, went through one of the gaps in the walls in the wall.
Yeah. So while they talk with the kids, I'm just going to look over the battlefield here and try and figure out who killed who.
Okay.
Who killed the Illuminated, and generally if anything weird that isn't obvious from what we saw is going on here. But otherwise, they go in and sort the kids.
You can make a perception roll, then, or investigation roll, whichever's most appropriate.
I am going to spend a feat point to boost this because it's a non-combat roll, so I can boost it. It's just going to be, unfortunately, that was pissing awful. 10 boosted.
That's enough. You're fine. You, as the others go into the barn and break the shackles to release the children, I think most probably Zacharias is having to calm them first, because like the Hulk of a Trollkin is quite a intimidating presence initially.
No, Bragg's great with kids.
Oh yeah, Bragg's. He's got.
I actually am pretty good with kids.
He brings out like a bag of jelly babies, basically, or something equivalent.
Hello, I don't want to. I don't want to worry you, but we're going to take you home. I just need you to stop your screaming and your struggling, so I can get those off you. And
We found kids. We found your sister, your older sister. She's really worried about you. We're gonna take you back to him.
Mm-hmm.
The investigating the bodies there are the illuminated ones, and there is also one of the guards. One of these mercs is still alive. It was the one that obviously had his leg blown off by Bragg. Though there is, within the barn, as you look in there, it looks to be a collection of, chemistry, kind of alchemical equipment. There is a frame that would be large enough to support a warjack, as while it's being disassembled and worked upon. And that's pretty much what you can understand at this point.
Do the Illuminated look like they've suffered the massive physical trauma of being killed by a warjack, or the considerably less physical trauma of being shot or stabbed by the bandits?
They look like they've been shot.
Okay, right. I'm just trying to figure out who the warjack's on the side of, as it were. So it sounds
its
like
own from the sounds of it.
Probably, but it sounds like it didn't kill the Illuminated. At least it was trying to kill the guards, the bandits.
Well, there was a thing, wasn't there, about the fact that he was using this corrupted, demonic tome to.
Yes, the Mechanicus.
Librum Mechanicus, yeah.
Yes.
To corrupt was how I got it. Warjacks. So it could have been a captured warjack or something that they were going to do particularly awful things to with these.
Or maybe they did.
Or maybe they did, and it didn't take this time.
So look out towards wherever Kato is to make sure he hasn't been eaten by a Gru. Because it would be a bit like if he wandered off to go chase this thing and then gets like Kato napped by a wild warjack. A bit embarrassing on our watch, just to lose a party member that way.
Do you want to investigate the barn a bit more? Because obviously there's a lot of stuff in there. There looks to be also some notes, some paper in there.
I'd like to get a look at those, certainly. I'm not sure if Zacharias might be the man in the inside job there in the barn to do the rifling as a spy. Sure. Yeah. You might know what kind of good things are to quickly assess.
So, if you want to start doing that is... and if also, remember, you can talk to the children, you can talk to the remaining guard that is slowly bleeding out.
Yes, I'm pulling him up against a bit of the thing.
Oh, right, okay.
Chat with him.
So, let's deal with that first. You pull him, you push him against the wall, you are holding him at gunpoint, possibly...
well, I don't really need guns.
No.
So
he is pale. He is shivering in pain, and his eyes are darting about, looking to see if he can somehow escape, but clearly can't.
Good evening. Hello.
He's just spluttering. Who are you? What do you want? What do you want?
I'm trying to listen to his accent. I'm paranoid about Kato's Kador theory now. So
he doesn't seem Kadoran now.
Okay, who did you serve with?
I work for Bowden.
Oh, yeah, yes, I know that. But who did you serve with before then? Signa an army? Something else?
Just Bowden. Just Bowden.
Really? You're quite competent for a bunch of bandits.
Do you want to make an interrogation roll?
I'm not really. I'm just quietly chatting away to him.
He
while he's
just
sitting
he
there
just
bleeding
shakes it.
out.
I'm not speaking. He's just like, look, you gotta help me. My leg.
Yes,
Can I
well,
hear this?
Yeah.
Your friend did shoot me, and it rather stung.
Finch,
Hmm?
if you want to keep interrogating him, you're going to need to tie that leg off. Because otherwise, he's going to bleed out in about, well, not very long.
That sounds bad. That sounds terrible. So anyway, I'll carry on chatting away to him. So Bowden, where is he?
You saw him. The warjack took him.
Did it now? Was that on purpose? Was that a mistake? Did something go wrong?
I don't know. I didn't see what happened. All I knew. I swear, all I saw was the warjack came out and it started. It was mad. You gotta help me.
Certainly.
You gotta help me.
No, I understand. I hear you. I hear you. So what were you doing for Bowden? What were you trying to get from these villages?
Bowden just wanted them.
Wanted what? The people? The materials?
It just needed people. He didn't explain why.
And he just brought them back here, and you never really saw them again, like two children chained up. You didn't bother looking in.
There were people that left. We buried
They
some.
left.
No, we buried them.
They left, did they? You buried
They left.
You
They
buried
left. They left in that way. They were dead.
Did it ever come to you to question the fact you were feeding villagers into whatever this fellow's contraptions and laboratory was? That rampaging warjacks, for example, might be the end.
No, I'm not saying anything else. You gotta help me. I'm not saying anything else until you give me some.
No.
You gotta tend to my wound. I haven't got left.
Nod.
He
Okay.
begins to kind of be a bit delirious. It's clearly the blood loss is getting to him.
Finch is just gonna get up and stick his head in the barn and go, well, we know where Bowden is now, more or less. The jack grabbed him and ran off.
Right, but did you tie off that leg? Because there's plenty I would like to be talking to about over a protracted period of time.
Oh, do we really have a protracted period of time? I mean, we need to get.
We
this
always
Bowden-
have a protracted period of time for an interrogation.
Do we? I'm not. I think I'm with Finch here. We need to go after that warjack.
Fuck
I'll
it, both
pop my
of
head
you.
back round to the guy who's bleeding out and go, sorry, we're just having a quiet chat about what we're going to do with you. And then stick my head back round to carry the conversation.
Have I got the kids down by now, Chris?
Yeah, the kids. Yeah, the kids are sat in a corner.
I'll have given them the sort of a couple of sweets. He's just about right. You're gonna stay here with Mr. Zinfandel. He's gonna keep an eye on you. I'm just gonna go take care of that gentleman outside, and then we're gonna get you back to your sister. All right? And with that, I'll walk outside. Right. I don't want to alarm you, but our job is to investigate this situation, and at some point we're gonna need evidence for that. So I'm gonna tie his leg off, and then I'll look at cauterizing the wound. All right?
I'm not sure he's. I mean, yes, I see where you're coming from, but on the other hand, I suspect Bowden and the warjack are going to be more substantial evidence.
You think we're gonna bring them in alive?
Well, no, but the parts are the same. I mean, at the end of the day, I think what's his name?
I will be tying this guy's leg off in a tourniquet and.
Yes. I think Evelyn's. I mean, to be honest, let's face it. What's going to happen to this chap, right? We're going to take him back, and Evelyn's going to have him shot.
Yep.
It feels like a bit of a waste, really, taking him all that way. But
I'm not taking him anywhere. He's got one leg and he's bleeding out. He's not moving anywhere from this spot. And if I can cauterize the wound, then he's definitely probably not going to be waking up in anything but agonizing pain for 2-3 days minimum. So we've got plenty of time to go deal with the warjack.
Oh, fair enough. If you're content to, I just it feels like a bit of a waste of time and bandages, really.
Bandages. I
Well,
just
whatever
walk over to one of the dead mercenaries and pull off a belt. I ain't wasting good stuff on this guy. I'm gonna use his mate's belt.
Can
He's gonna make it back
we
then.
quickly cut to Kato? Kato, could you make a tracking roll to track the warjack through the
I got
woods.
this. Tracking is its own skill. It's not survival, right?
Yes. Tracking is its own skill.
Okay, then this is going to be problematic.
Runs off perception.
Oh, hey. Tiny screen. 13.
Yeah, that's enough, because it's fairly easy to track a warjack through woodland. It's got big, stompy metal feet. And it takes a bit of time, and you do find it stood, not quite motionless, but its optical lenses. One of them is broken. The other one is glowing a greenish aura to it, and it's standing, steam hissing, almost resting on its spear. And before it, on the ground, is the body of a man dressed in grey robes. The one that you saw it carrying.
I'm going to try to sneak a little bit closer. Do I hear anything?
You don't hear anything, no.
Okay.
Other than
sneaking
it's
closer.
the burning of its boiler and, hissing of steam.
Making my way just around some trees, trying to keep some distance, but also just slowly making my way closer.
Okay.
Got my spell shot already primed. And it's just standing there looking at him?
Yeah, it's just looking at the body.
Weird. And it's already been damaged.
Oh, he's put himself inside the warjack, hasn't he?
We'll cut back to the guys in the barn as you're stood there, because it's taking you a bit of time to track this, the warjack down. So what are the others doing then? You're still in the barn. What do you want to do? Do you want to do any? Do you want to head off after Kato, or do you want to?
I'm tying this guy's leg off and sort of slapping him awake a bit. And like, right, here's the situation, mate. You have to keep hold of this. This is the belt. This is the only thing keeping yourself alive. So if you want to keep alive, you're going to keep hold of that. It won't work if you try to tie it off. It's not going to be tight enough for you. You have to keep hold of that. If you move, you're going to bleed out. If you try to run off, you're going to bleed out. You do anything other than hold that, you're going to bleed out. Now, I don't have time to cauterize the wound because I've got to go deal with a warjack. And I say that, and it honestly makes me very happy. But I want you to stay alive, whereas all my mates really want you to just be dead.
Yes, I'm not a fan of child murderers,
No, me neither, but way I see it, there's a small chance for you that you come out of this not as a child murderer, but as one of the men who helped take down a very bad child murderer and infernalist. All right? So all you need to do is keep hold of this belt. All right? Don't fuck around. Otherwise, I will come back here and then, I don't know, defile your corpse. I'm not quite decided yet. You're probably going to be dead. But keep hold of it.
Meanwhile, Zacharias, what's Zacharias doing? You going to rifle through the stuff in the barn?
Brad just left me to babysit these kids, so we're gonna have
I said I think we were going to go through the papers as well.
Or you could talk to the twins, see what they witnessed.
I think we need to have a scene where this Laelese noble has to be confronted by children.
Filthy peasants' children, nonetheless.
Yeah, so
Aren't most of us peasants, except for Zinfandel?
correct.
By comparison to Zinfandel, most of the world is peasants.
Zach looks down at these two children and says, "Hi, I'm I'm Lord Zinfandel. It's a pleasure to meet both of you. I must say, in the courts of Lael, we don't see children, ever. What's your name?"
Finch in the
Children?
background going through papers looks up at that with a really confused expression on his face. So you can see he's trying to process what do they do with their children then? It goes back to rifling through papers.
Okay, so the girl stops sniveling and she looks up. He's Kyle. I'm Kara. You know our sister Hayden?
That's right. Okay, yes, this is all coming back to me. Yes, we met her in the village. She's okay. We're gonna take it back to her, and it's gonna be all right. I know you've been through a lot. However, I'm gonna need you to answer some questions.
She
Kara, you
just
seem to be
slowly
the,
nods. Yeah.
Yeah, Kara, you seem to be the more talkative of the two here. What happened with that warjack? The big giant stompy robot.
There was some an hour ago or so. There was some shooting. There was some men, and then it stopped, and then the man in the grey robes, the I guess sorcerer or
Yeah,
or
you
witch.
can call him the bad man. It's okay.
He came back, and he used that stuff over there, and she points at all the equipment and alchemical stuff and the notes. And then he started saying something in a. It was weird. The air went cold, and he kept chanting, and it went colder and colder, and then there was this green light.
Green light. That's never a good sign in this setting.
And then his body just collapsed. And
was he? Kara, was he saying these words towards the warjack?
He was saying them. I think. I don't know if it was towards the. He was saying them towards. I think he was trying to say them towards us.
My God. I mean, by the gods. Did you feel as though your soul was being taken from your body?
No.
Okay. Good.
But then, after the flash, the machine, it ignited the furnace, everything, and it wrenched itself free, and it went mad, and then it started fighting the men outside, and then it's gone. It took the man in the grey robes. It took the witch.
Yes, the bad man. Okay, well, that's kind of what I assumed. Great. Did anything else stand out to you? Anything else spooky?
The men, they spoke another language. I've only heard it from travelers.
Okay.
They mentioned a name. Vlad.
Okay. Did the language sound like this? And Zacharias starts saying some random stuff in Kadoran.
She begins to nod at your Kadoran.
Okay. Dang Kadorans, they're always.
How did he know?
Good.
So, as you're doing this, the interior of the barn, obviously, there's some gas lamps hanging from the rafters. There's a collection of tables strewn with broken arcane alchemical equipment. And yes, there's the equipment that would be normally seen for holding up and repairing a warjack. Let's see. So Finch, I guess you're going to make an intelligence plus research roll to investigate this stuff, given this is pretty much your thing.
Research. Let's spend a feat point again to boost it. That's a bit better. That is 16.
16, that's brilliant. You begin looking over the paperwork, and the language is kind of, there's a bit of Telgesh in there, but you recognize the words. The language is it's actually a translation, and you've seen the language before in the University of Corvus, because Corvus was at one point in history.
So it's a translation from Telgesh or into Telgesh?
It's a translation into Telgesh.
Okay, so because I can read Telgesh anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And the language it's translated from you've seen before in the city of Corvus, because Corvus, of course, once was the capital for the Orgoth occupation. This is clearly, to your mind, then, translations from the Libran Mechanonecrus.
But okay, these are translations. Is the book here?
No. There are notes and notes
Right.
from Bowden's research.
So he's clearly had it, and he's
Yeah.
taken loads of.
Or
notes
he's been
from
given copies
Yeah.
of
a
it.
copy, right? Okay.
Hey kids, did the evil man have a really creepy book with a mechanical looking and evil binding?
They kind of shake their head at that.
Okay,
So-
just checking.
All right.
You-
Well, he's clearly been up to what we thought he's been up to. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway,
Probably
you don't
better get after Kato. It's been a while.
you don't have a full amount of time to look over the notes, but the things you also do realise is that the notes obviously speak of soul transfer and necromancy, which, being a fucking Thamorite, you have come into passing knowledge of anyway. So this is seeming quite familiar. Bowden's research, his diagrams focus also upon the construction of warjack cortexes. So seemingly about how the cortex operates and sustains energy, magical energy.
But it sounds
within
like
it.
he's trying to shove souls into cortexes, probably. And the question is really whether he fucked up and shoved his own in by mistake, or if he intended to do that.
And within Bowden's own notes, you find reference to a name a few times. His research, you find, is, he has this throwaway note like, "I'll be glad when I'm done with this foul work," and no longer bound to Vladislav Abrasim.
Vladislav Abrasim.
There's
Right,
also
so
some
he's
things
working
about
for
how he's
someone.
just always annoyed that Vladislav seems to be sends more mercenaries or something just to or other minions to watch over his work. He just hopes he can work in peace and finally finish this foul escapade. The last bit of thing that's important in his is the very last entry in Bowden's journal, which obviously you've been flicking through, and you go to that because it's the thing you've got maybe the most important given what the children spoke about. I need only, and this is in Bowden's own words, I need only to sink completely into madness and horror to be done with Vladislav and this hellish research. It would be easy to slay these children, to use their blood and souls to be done with this work. But I cannot. I fear my soul is irreparably tarnished even now. If I can take their lives, I am no better than Vladislav's thugs. No, the work will be finished shortly, and I will bear the burden of its cost upon my own flesh, my own soul. Perhaps this evil will be the key to my salvation, its power sufficient to free me from Vladislav's grip, that some good may come of this wretched predicament.
Okay. We'll chat while we walk, perhaps. Go and find what's befallen Kato. We had a little bit of interesting stuff in these notes here, but we should probably be getting on. Obviously, the children, I presume, are going to stay here.
Can they make it back to their village
I think
themselves?
you're muted, Ben. Or something's on with your sound.
I think it'd be
here we go.
best if we so I'm just gonna move the bodies out the way so the kids can't see them,
Yeah.
and then sort of, right, kids, I'm gonna need you to get inside that little building over there, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the hay bales in there so you can hide, and then I'll put some hay bales in front of one of the doors so that you can, it's going to be harder for people to come looking for you, all right? And you're going to wait there until we come back. And if we haven't come back in a day's time, you're going to slip out and go back to the village, right? Do you know your way from here to the village?
Kara kind of nods, knowing sort of the lay of
Alright.
the land.
All right. 1 day, all right? No more than that. 1 day. Okay?
And
I will give the kids a dagger
yeah,
before I leave. Leave them with a weapon. I'm not leaving them completely unarmed here, especially with that guy potentially going to try and do something stupid. And probably my decanter of water as well, because I don't know when they've last eaten or drunk.
yep.
Got some field rations for them as well.
Remember, you can also, if you want, on the mercenaries, they have axes or swords. There is black powder and bullets.
Yeah, I'm not going to give the kids axes. It's too big and heavy to hold. You know?
There is amongst them. I'm just going to roll. There is.
Give the kids rifles.
Yeah.
How else will they learn?
Our own little fire
There
sword.
is about 27 gold crowns in coinage on the bodies of the mercs, and
Who wants to
obviously,
grab that?
and there are rifles as well. So if you wanted, Zacharias, you could always equip yourself with a rifle.
Nope, I'm good. I'm untrained in rifles.
A good point.
I say we give it to the kids. Give
Yeah,
the money to the
that's
kids.
going
It'll help them out.
Okay,
God
so
knows
you
they're
give
gonna need
so
it.
the kids take the gold crowns, and
Yeah.
you set off following the trail of crushed
Warjack
earth.
and Kato.
To find Kato and the Warjack. And I think that's about the right point. We can pause for a break. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. So we'll see you soon. So goodbye for now.
See you soon.
Okay, we're back to conclude this story and move on. So, you guys have set off through the woods, trailing Kato and the Warjack, which you now believe is possessed by the soul of Bowden Heightley.
And as I go, I'm going to tell them what I found in the notes in as abbreviated and clearer form as I can. Basically, it looks like this guy's working for a Cadoran who's obviously fucking around with the Liber Mechanica Necrum. He is attempting to do stuff with shunting souls into the Warjacks. However, he found that he couldn't kill the children and go through with it. In the end, he appears to have used himself as fuel. So it's possible he is now possessing the Warjack. It's possible something else is going on, but that seems quite likely that it's him in there.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm just going to move to that just in case we
Keep
need
in mind,
it.
Kato knows none of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
trying to do anything stupid, but if I do something that does seem off, it's because Kato's in the woods looking at the Jack and a human.
So, Kato, you're literally just watching this Warjack. It's still stood there, almost motionless, as if it is pondering very deeply what to do. Sometimes it kind of looks up, looks at the sky, looks at the trees rustling, and reaches out with the empty hand that it has, trying to almost feel for the air that it can no longer feel.
Which seems weird to me.
It seems weird to you. You know, it's reaching out. You watch its 4-digited hand kind of grasping, and it almost looks at its hand, and then kind of walks around a little bit, and then peers around with its glowing green eye. Right, so everyone that's moving through the woods to tracking this Warjack, because there's a number of you, could you all make stealth rolls?
Yep, sneak and agility.
Sneak, yeah.
Agility is not great, but I do have
It's
some
going to go
sneak.
about as well as you expect
not
from
bad.
me.
13.
Yeah, originally
15.
6.
6 total. Oh
Yeah.
no.
I guess we're going to
Okay.
fan out slightly from
I
Bragg
am
and
a
hope he draws.
400-pound, 7-foot-tall trollkin with no ability to get the sneak skill.
Okay, as you are walking through, Kato, you hear also the same sounds, and the Warjack you watch responds to the cracking of wood, the breaking of branches, as something large is moving through the woods towards your position. The Warjack readies itself, brandishing its spear, and moves slightly to in that direction, almost if it's trying to defend the body that it brought with it. You obviously then also note in the can Kato actually Kato can do his detection roll actually.
I can do that. I have detection. All right. Ew. Nice. That is a 16.
Okay, so those of the others that you beat, you spot them moving through the trees, approaching this clearing. What do you guys want to do? Those of you who are quite happily stealthy, you can now begin to, and also Bragg, of course. You can hear the hissing of steam and the boiler of the Warjack. You can hear it clanking as it moves.
My first priority is looking for Kato because I want to make sure he hasn't been reduced to a pulp by the thing.
Okay, you're going to have to make a detection roll, and of course Kato will have been hiding, so Kato needs to make a stealth roll, a sneak roll.
Ooh, that's quite good though. 15.
Oh no! I think you got me one.
What did
10?
Kato got a 10 in total?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kato wants to do something kind of silly once I realize that this thing might actually like it knows that the game is up. And,
so Kato, you're mostly moving to try and make yourself kind of seen by the others, but not seen by the Warjack, and you realise that was also a bit of a mistake, and it kind of looks in your direction.
Okay. So
Never
I'm gonna
go.
hold up my pistol, so we can see it, but I'm going to turn it up so that my hand's not on the trigger. I'm gonna
Okay.
pull off my hat so I can see it. Just gonna set the hat down, put the pistol back in my holster, kind of keep my hands up. How does it react?
We shall engrave on his put on his gravestone. He died with his hat off.
Hold on, I'm just adding a few tokens onto our map.
In my head, all I've got is dumb ways to die.
So
Many dumb ways
Oh, I've
to
got
die.
some pieces of equipment on me that can help even the odds.
So Kato, you've dropped your pistol to the ground and you're just moving forward your hands. Oh no, you've
Pistol's in
holstered
the
it
holster,
and you
hat's
just
on
move up.
ground.
Okay, it stands just watching you as you approach.
Here we see a warjack in its native environment.
I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna make 2 fingers with it and just hold it up, kind of like, you know, peace signing it. Seeing how it reacts.
It's still holding its spear pointing and it's kind of moving slowly between your position and then looking in the direction where you begin to see Bragg kind of ungainly breaking through the tree line.
Ah,
Like-
fuck it.
Hey, Bragg,
Lo, a brag.
hold on real quick.
But giant monster.
Yeah, it's acting weird for a warjack. It's protecting
Hey,
that body over there.
I've been waiting most of my life to be able to do what I'm about to do. You've got a minute.
I don't know how to take that. All right, just kind of waving my hand back and forth, seeing if it'll pantomime.
It just watches you and then it kind of looks down briefly at its empty hand.
Well, I'll seeing that there's no immediate combat. I mean, I'll break from what the cover quietly, not lush out near Bragg. Basically, hiss at Kato. It's probably Bowden.
It
The
looks
body?
directly in your direction as you say that.
No,
And-
the warjack. It's probably
and it's-
and the body.
And it stands up a bit taller as it hears that.
Ah, yes. Hello, Mr. Hightley.
It kind of just like there's a
Weird.
grating and it kind of nods almost.
Yes, we appear to be at something of an impasse because you appear to be a warjack, which is not a common state of affairs for most people. And you don't seem to have much in the way of means of communicating with us, so this is going to be a bit tricky. I think glancing at Bragg, waiting to see if Bragg's about to just go fuck it and suplex it into a tree or something.
You as you're speaking to it, it's watching and then it kind of turns back, pointing the spear at Bragg, then turns a little bit more to point towards Kato, and you watch as rings of Telgesh symbols appear around its spear and around itself, and you sense an aura kind of begin to expand around it.
Is it casting a spell? Because I've got Rune Reader, or is it doing something?
Yes, it is doing a spell.
Right, let's have a quick look at what Rune Reader tells me, because I might be like, what the fuck is... Oh my god, it's a warjack casting spells. That's not fair. Gifted. Rune Reader. I can identify any spell cast by reading the spell runes. I also learned the type of magic cast the spell list it came from, and the tradition of the caster casting spell. God knows what that is for this guy. If so,
Infernalist,
yeah.
surely.
well, or necromancy. Yeah, so basically, I know what it's casting.
It's casting an aura of protection.
Okay, that's not as bad as I was right. It's warding itself. I'm not sure if it means us harm or if it is simply concerned. Mr. Hightley, will you come quietly with us to the law of Signar?
You watch the warjack kind of tilt its head at that question.
I'm sorry to say there's been mass murder taking place somewhat under your auspices, and the fact you have nobly sacrificed yourself to avoid killing children at the end is good. We like that, yes, that the children are not dead. You were still involved in something more than mildly criminal, however.
On what your books say, you weren't exactly a willing individual in this enterprise, and we're working on behalf of someone, and we can help you take them down. But we can only do that if you come quiet like.
Yes, especially because the only way we can really communicate with you is if you're willing to sit down with us and, I don't know, scratch words in the dirt with your spear or something.
And that's a good point. It listens to you saying that, and then it takes the haft of the spear and then scratches out the name Vlad into the dirt.
Yep.
Oh, yes, he appears to be a right wrong 'un. Where would we find Mr. Vlad?
The warjack kind of looks around and then looks at the sky and then points the spear, and you realise it's pointing north.
Okay, north.
North.
That's north in Signar or north in Kador?
No, Kador's to the northwest.
Well,
Yes,
it
where
nods north to Kador.
Okay, so a very long way away. He's in Kador somewhere. Yes, I think we're going to need some sort of means of more intricate communication with you, if that would be possible. Are you willing to... Basically, what I'm saying is, are we going to have to reduce you to scrap and haul you back and hope someone can pluck the information out of whatever's run past your cortex? Or are you going to collaborate with us in helping deal with Mr. Vlad?
I mean, Mr. Bowden, Warjack Bowden, you have a lot of leverage here, according to with what you've discovered. I think it's quite possible that you may be able to escape any long-term imprisonment or anything like that. Given your extensive knowledge and discoveries here, so we'd really prefer it if you could come with us and answer some questions, and we could see where things go from there.
There's also one third option, which is, if you promise to help us, we take back your body and you become a warjack that works for someone else, quietly, knowing the entire time you are what you are, but that you have gotten away, for the most part, with what we can only assume to be quite some abominable actions. But if you don't, I will get to fulfill one of my life's goals, which is I will personally pull your arms off.
The
Option
warjack kind of looks at Bragg and then makes the stand in the way of the body of, you presume now it's Bowden, and points at the body like a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know that's your body. But
Do you want us to take the body?
And then it points at itself and then
we want
points
to get
back
back
at the
in
body.
the body.
And then it nods at that.
I don't think there is anyone on this continent who's going to be able to achieve that, since you put
Not
yourself in
necessarily.
there.
We need to have a look at the body and see what state it's in. We need to see
mean-
exactly what he's done.
If I disarm myself, I'm trained in battlefield medicine. I can make sure it's still alive and stuff like that. You willing?
Right, I think someone at this point is going to have to make a negotiation roll.
Yep.
Okay.
I can do
let's
intimidation.
that.
I can do something here.
Negotiation.
there.
What stat with it? I'm good at negotiation, so
Okay,
I
you
can
go
do that.
Negotiation runs off
stat
a
he's going with.
social stat, so I think it'll be based off intelligence for this.
Okay, so for me, I'd have a total of +5 to this. Unless if anyone's got better, then they can try and negotiate.
Like I said,
otherwise-
I can intimidate.
I will burn my last feat point to get this boosted, because I
Okay.
would quite like to not have this suddenly turn into people's boots. Because it's not great. It's not bad. It's not great. 12.
Okay. As it watches Bragg kind of move forward a bit, it then readies its spear again.
It's going to be hard for us to help get your soul back in your body if you won't let us help.
Or if you stop me from finding out if you're even alive anymore. Because if your body's dead, don't think there's much chance of putting your soul into it again.
Actually, Chris, what did you roll originally?
12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't an amazing
you
roll, but...
can make another roll. I'm going to let you make another roll.
Okay, but now I'm not boosting this because I'm out of feat points. So
Yeah.
it's just raw. But that is better. That's 15.
Okay. The Warjack kind of like steps back and allows one of you to approach the body.
I'll start approaching.
Yes.
I will pointedly take out my pistol and hand it to Finch, and then take out my trench knife and hand that to Finch.
And
then,
an extra knife and the other gun, and the other gun, the backup knife.
Pull out a club which is on his back and hand that to Finch, but he's not doing it with the knuckle dusters.
Pop the club down, lean against my leg. But if he is dead, it's not necessarily. If the body is a corpse, it's not necessarily the end of the road. The church might still be able to help.
12. No, sorry, 13. 13. Plus 4 for medicine.
The body of Bowden seems to be in a pretty bad state. Not quite dead, but there's no.
He's comatose.
Yeah.
All right.
If he's not dead, I might be able to reverse it.
He isn't dead, but I mean, I don't know how long he's gonna keep the way he's keeping without the driving spark of his mortality, shall we say.
Probably not long. Soulless bodies don't tend to fare very well. If we can get back to that, whatever's in that laboratory, I might, with the notes, be able to have a look at what he did and try and reverse it, but I can't guarantee anything.
Could someone make another negotiation roll? Because obviously this is a very
Okay,
frightened person
keep
in a
on.
Warjack.
12.
And that's passed. That's good.
Yep.
So are you going to let Bragg lift up the body to carry it away?
I think so, and obviously say to the Jack, you're probably going to need to come with us if we're going to try and reunite you with your body.
Okay, you now need to pass one last negotiation check.
Don't botch it, man.
You can stay here for 12 again.
Okay, the Warjack kind of nods and drops the spear and trudges off with you.
Okay.
So we can conclude this. So let's see. Let me see.
Inside, Bragg's heart is breaking.
So close and yet so far
Yeah.
to tearing the arms off a Warjack and beating its death with them.
So
I mean, it might still happen if I fuck this up.
you head back with the Warjack back to the farmstead, and you begin to look over the notes. While you think you could piece it together, perhaps, obviously you're going to need a lot of time because you're actually possibly you've got some certainty that there's even the likelihood that Bowden may have got some of the translations in places wrong. Or there might be other bits that you could translate if you were to recover the entire Librum Mechanonecrus. Which you literally, as you're kind of voicing these things out, the Warjack is just kind of nodding with a knowing kind of with a knowing sense of meeting someone with a similar background and of knowledge. Right.
Like, I've given that conversation of, look, I can try and jury rig this for you, and it probably won't work, but it might. Or we can go for a safer, longer approach.
Which really then begs
hold out.
the question, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go with Bowden?
Right, so we
Back to
can...
the barn is the initial thing, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
because we need to take the kids back, nothing else.
the kids have got to go back. We can... If it looks like it's going to be a long... How long is long in this case?
It's going to be a long time. You need more research. You need to even consult with... You need to consult with essentially a substantial library of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like,
so really it means heading back to Highgate.
Highgate is not really a centre for learning like that. You would either have to return back to
Corvus or something. Or somewhere
Corvus
else,
or
Well,
or
if we
the
go back to
capital of Signar,
Highgate-
even.
If we go back to Highgate, we've got the option of then faster transport than anything else we can do anyway. So
yes.
primary, it goes kids back to the village. Then Hayden and the kids need to make a decision whether or not they want to stay in the village or take what they can from the destroyed village and come with us to Highgate. We then need to cash in the fact that we have killed all those mercenaries that the commander hired us to kill. So I'm guessing that's a bag of heads sort of situation for him.
Could everyone make a perception plus detection roll, please?
Dude done a runner or something.
Bowden just
I got
13.
I
got
crit. I
nothing.
got a 17.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
I get a 12.
Okay. As you when you were approaching back to the barn, and obviously you have put somewhere within the barn the bodies of the mercenaries that you had killed. Kato, when you return, you spot coming out from the barn a number of crows. There's crows around generally, but you're like, okay, there's crows.
That's bad.
Feasting on the dead. That's to be.
That's not a word
expected.
I want to hear related to crows and dead bodies. That's just made me think of something very bad.
But as some of them flew away, there was one that kind of stood on the very apex of the roof of the barn. And you've got a keen eye. I mean, you are a marksman, well trained. That bird looks freaking rank. It looks, and you're pretty certain that you could see some of its rib cage. It looked
Dead
really
birds.
mangy, like dead, and then it flies off.
A dead bird was just watching us as I watched him fly away.
Shoot
Okay.
it down then.
Approach the barn very carefully and look in from a distance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, once you get to the barn, you see that there's the bodies where you left them, and yeah, some of them have been pecked at. Some are now missing eyeballs.
When you mentioned the Raven and mentioned Feast, I thought, oh god, we're about to get jumped by a Lord of the Feast or something really bad like that. It's like fucking out of nowhere, smack. Okay, so but they haven't been like raised into horrible abominations. Okay. Right, we're on someone's radar. Well, we're on someone's map, rather. We've yet to invent radar in this setting. Okay, so I think so. The plan is scoop up what we need here, move on, because it doesn't look like I can. So Chris, it doesn't. Any attempt I make to try and reverse it here is probably going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to trust doing it here.
No. Kind of tempted to still anyway, but probably better safe than sorry. Finch is concerned with what we're going to do with the body, which means we're going to have to start giving this body fluids soon, presumably, or it's just going to die. And someone's going to have the really shitty duty of dealing with the other end as well. So we are about to become the roving medical team of supporting Mr. Bowden's body.
I've dealt with Battle Shock before. I can take care of it.
I mean, this is a little more than battle shock. It's not his senses that have been knocked out of him; it's his soul.
Yeah, but you still have to keep them fed, watered,
biological processes going. Yeah.
So
seriously, mate, can you shoot down that bloody bird?
Would I have been fast enough to shoot that?
No
bird?
way,
Yeah.
no way.
Not at the range we were at. No, I think it's the issue.
Having
rifle right there.
I think having gathered all the notes and information, and I think you've got a clear plan that you're going to head back to Highgate, and from there.
Do we still need Mr. Tourniquet Leg?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think you need him, but you could take him as a prisoner.
Yeah.
He
that's
might.
okay.
He might. Actually, no. I think he's actually dead. You actually find him. He's no. Sorry. Actually, no.
Dead by
He is
bird.
dead. He is dead by bird.
Right.
Ooh.
No witnesses.
Okay. Yeah. Check the kids are still alive then.
Yeah, that was- that was
They are alive, and they describe the guard, the soldiers, like the mercenaries' final screams.
Oh god.
Oh, poor kids.
These kids are screwed, man. No, there's no good outcome for these kids.
Right. So that's pretty much that is the end of that episode. We'll give you. I'm trying to find the good plan for experience. So I think one for everything being completed. I'll give you another one. You did some cool stuff. I'd give you another one because you also negotiated with Bowden. You chose not to destroy the possessed Warjack, which is pretty cool. I mean, you could have easily just chosen no and destroy the abomination.
Then how would I have a Warjack lab assistant?
So
I could have taken a shot at any time, but I'm pretty glad I decided to try to wave him down.
Yeah.
in total, you
Made the
can
right
all
choice.
have 4 experience points.
Nice. That's a tasty
So we're on
chunk.
8 now.
And I guess our plan is basically going to be collect our cash, our due cash in Highgate, head back north with our new dude, and it's going to be a case of trying to get him more information out of him about what the fuck's going on with Vlad. You know, we're going to be getting a really big blackboard, massive chunks of chalk or something, or big wax thing with a big stylus he can use to talk to us, and then doing extremely dubious research on my part in everything I can get out of the university archives for how to do things you shouldn't do with people's souls.
We also need to go back to the church because we have technically completed their mission as well, which is we have dealt with Bowden.
That is absolutely true. Finch is still going to do, and Finch is hoping the church will have some ideas for how to stick this guy's soul back in his body, but he's going to pursue his own avenue as well because he'd rather do it by himself to show the church up.
I'm not sure we should tell the church.
Sounds
I'm
good.
just going to say, I'm not sure we should tell the church that Bowden is inside the same.
No,
Just FYI, you realize that their response is probably going to be to destroy. I assume
right.
away from Bowden.
Yeah, in fact, so it's going to be.
I think we cannot tell the church that Bowden is now a warjack because otherwise that's going to lead to like the Holy Inquisition style, and Bowden disappears and we disappear, and then they go pursuing Vlad. You know,
And Bowden sounds like he's pretty powerful. It sounds like he can cast spells as a jack.
Yes, which is a bit concerning. That he will be under strict instructions to not like cast spells, just in general. Just be a warjack, dude. Yeah, you're a dumb robot. Just stick to that.
Just say it's the top of the line Signar model. They can all cast spells now. It's you'll see it in every jack soon.
Well, actually, this is a Leolese Warjack, isn't it? So I'm sure I can come up with some documentation to explain why we've got it. And
You can
why,
mostly forge some documentation.
Yeah.
Finch's plan is to pull out
can.
the stops with the dubious research of ethically dubious sources, including any Famorites you can find in Corvus to like question about weird soul stuff, and also the books you can get out the thing. He's going to try and filter that as much as possible towards the others in terms of so they know that maybe he's looking at some stuff that everyone involved in this now knows we're up to our eyeballs in some stuff that, for instance, the church would not be very happy with. So they shouldn't be surprised if he's looking at some texts that maybe the church wouldn't be too happy with him looking at. But he's not going to be out and out saying, by the way, I went and consulted with some evil Famorites today about how to help our warjack friend. He will keep it as palatable to the rest as possible.
It's all right, Finch. It's not my church.
So, as a little brief pause, then everyone can just start we can just do a bit of discussion. Like, how do you want to spend your experience points? Because there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Because how much XP are you in total now?
We're on 8 now, so we've got a stat and 2 occupational skills.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stat is I think what's the max arcane you can have as a human to start with then? Here are
It'll
limits.
be in the max column
4.
next to it.
I'm maxed arcane already, so I can't increase my arcane any further.
I
can take intelligence.
I could increase my physique, or I could increase my speed, and I am torn between the two.
Yeah.
Speed is
absolutely.
good. Getting into combat is useful.
That's it. Like the 5 inches at the moment is a limiting factor.
In those facing down those guns, you want a little extra bit of pace.
Yeah,
I think I'm just going to take intelligence because it's the only mental stat that I haven't maxed already, so I'm just going to max the intelligence now.
That sounds a good thing. That's a pretty good one as well.
4 spells under 1 bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much enjoying 4 arcane. To be honest, it's very good.
And so Braggot got last time as a you took as a ability, was it? you
Yeah, I
took
took the
Defender,
ability
which
Defender.
basically means you can stop a hit going to a friendly near you,
With-
and then also
within
advance.
within 6 inches.
Yeah, that's
and then
pretty fun.
advance 2.
Wow, you just literally are just getting closer to the enemy all the time with
Yeah.
that.
And
In
And
return
I
for
could
being
also-
hit.
'cause that's commands. It's ints that I could actually boost the
Yeah, that
range
is
that's affected within by boosting my int.
That's a
I
very
boost-
good plan.
And remember, if you boost one of the main 3 agility or int, that's an extra hit point as well on your track.
That's
unlocking.
a good point as well. Yeah.
So I'm quite keen to become
Um,
slightly less squishy than I am.
Mike, what are you thinking with Zacharias to upgrade? What kind of things are you thinking star-wise?
Stat-wise, my intelligence is already maxed out,
Wow.
so I'm gonna put it into prowess, just so I'm a little bit better with my dress sword, my little
Yes,
fencing
that sounds
sword.
good.
And also, other than that, just gonna spend points and skills.
Yeah, because we get
Not
2
really good doing the
occupational
abilities
skills
or
as well.
anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get +1 stat, +2 occupational skills for the 6 and the 8 we've passed.
And you still
So not
had your...
those 2 skills.
You still
Sorry?
had Mike spend your spell, ability, connection, or military skill to upgrade. So you've got some fun there as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I just put it into a hand weapon, so I'm better at
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome.
Good choice.
Wow, you're now a pretty good swordsman then with
Yep.
all of that. That's awesome.
Wait,
What's
is hand
the-
weapon military skill or occupational skill?
Hand weapon is a military skill.
Military.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. Unfortunately, the occupational skills don't open that up for you, sadly.
Yeah, you can't combine the 2.
No.
No.
Does my unarmed combat align in military, or is it?
It's a military. Any
Yeah.
kind of attack power
It's a
is a
military.
military skill.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so that they're making sure you don't have to choose between combat effectiveness and cool non-combat powers.
Yeah.
They're in separate
It's
sort of slots.
Quite a nice way in the system to stop people just min-maxing.
And also,
Yeah.
it means you don't feel bad because you're not there going, "Oh, I should be taking this, otherwise I'm not going to be as effective as I could be." And then, I feel compelled to put all these points in combat skills, not non-combat stuff. And by splitting it out, it makes you feel you're given permission to build cool stuff with your character capabilities. Get an extra rank of sneak, so I can take shadow magic soon.
Wow.
And possibly, I'm tempted to take law, so that I can cover my arse more effectively.
Yeah, that would make
when
sense.
we inevitably get in trouble.
As a to get us into the next, this is actually an interlude. So this is an extra bit of material that wasn't in the original publishing of this campaign in No Quarter. This is in the final compilation of it. The interlude we're playing is Dead in the Water, which actually does cover the journey back to Corvus. So I'm really glad
Nice.
you've gone this route. When you're in Highgate, you will have come into contact with an illuminated one that was sent after you by what was his name? Why can't I think of his name from Corvus? Dumas. Father Dumas. He sent a illuminated one who, so you could have a contact there to trust. And his name is Galen Reach, and he has been he is basically ready. He's already requisitioned a steam barge for your journey back, unaware that you have actually returned back with a steam jack.
We just pick one of these up while we're out at the market.
Yeah. So the barge that you're getting on is called the Sundown. It's a paddle barge. Has it has the upper deck, the main deck, and the lower deck. So it has a cargo hold for the steam jack. It's got some crew quarters and staterooms where you can you'll actually get somewhere private where you can rest. And obviously then there's the main observation deck and the main wheelhouse at the back of the ship.
Before we go on it, we'll be stopping by Captain Evelyn Phineas to cash in for our 200 crown reward.
Oh yeah, you get that. Yeah, you get back from Captain
50 each.
Yeah.
I think nice split 50 each. And
Yeah,
I think if we're leaving soon as well on this barge, I will also drop off to you. You might want to look up in the underworld a chap called Solomon, who appears to be buying large amounts of our chemicals for bomb making, because we're heading out of here now, but you probably want to know about the people illegally making bombs in your city.
And yeah, you will have passed on that information. So you will have boarded the Sundown. You will have put in place in the cargo hold the Warjack. Galen Reach is a jittery person to be a member of a group of witch hunters who seems quite perturbed by by this Warjack. I don't know how much you will have explained to Galen about the nature of the Warjack. Will you have wanted to...
He gets nothing.
He gets nothing. You just say it's important to do with Bowden. Fine. That's good. Let's see what else.
Requisitioned war material.
Yeah. This R2 unit has secret plans on it.
We are not going to give it even the hint that this thing is sentient. Properly sentient.
Sapient.
Yes. Mr. Bowden has come to a horrible sticky end, which is why we have his comatose body. We're just hoping, we're looking after his comatose body because we think there's a possibility he might wake up, so we want to question him. Because we need to explain the fact we've got this guy's body with us as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a case of we think he's going to come. Our professional medic brag, because we can't hide the guy's body all the time. I think they're going to notice.
Or we just say that it was a friend of ours, and we don't actually say that this is Bowden.
The only problem there is if any of them have seen him when they've been hunting him before, if anyone IDs him, we will be up the creek without a pad at that point.
Also on board is obviously there is Captain Hargrave. So Galen Reach is kind of elderly, doddering, kind of fool of the Illuminated Order. You've got he's hired two burly roustabouts, Molan and Tack, to act as guards for the material that you have recovered from Bowden's research, which is the Warjack, plus other stuff that you would have, likely crated up as well that Bowden carried for you back from the barn, and there are also a few other people on board because obviously Galen couldn't quite obviously hire out the entire ship, the entire boat. But yeah, you get on board. You've got some private quarters. You're going to have to bunk up two to a room because the other rooms are taken. And essentially, the aim is that the ship, the boat, will set off at nightfall.
Is Zacharias going to suggest that he gets a room by himself?
No,
not nightfall. At sundown.
It's probably going to be Bragg gets his own room.
Yeah,
and the three of
actually.
us have to cram into the other one just because he's taking up so much space.
Not being funny. I don't think these things were meant for trolls.
But yes, the panel barge will set off. You will have secured Bowden in the hold, chained up.
Come down and chat to him every so often on the quiet, because I don't want him to go stir crazy down there and start having a freak out. Because the last thing we want is him to have like a battle shock PTSD kind of episode in the barge hold, and the next first thing we know about it is because we're sinking.
And no beer makes Bowden something.
Go crazy.
Don't mind if I do.
It's the shining Bowden smashes through your, into your cabin. No, Bowden, you can't drink beer.
If you want, I can also join you in different shifts, just talking about it. And
yeah, the only thing we want to make sure we do, I've taken my second rank as in deception, in fact, since I figured I need to start getting better at lying about stuff like the fucking Warjack. So we just got to be careful we don't make it really, don't let anyone,
So yeah,
you can to a Warjack.
You can be happily anywhere on the ship. You could be in the main in your main quarters, or you could be on the observation deck. You can go chat to the captain, who is Captain Hargrave, is in his 50s. Galen Reach, as I said, is quite old. Yep, and yeah, that is who is there with you. Plus, you've got the rouseabouts and a few other crew members of Captain Hargrave. But he pretty much runs a very slim ship, boat. There's not room for many people on it. He'd rather have room for cargo more than people. Yeah. So does anyone want to speak to Hargrave as he is in the wheelhouse?
Yes.
Time to time.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're ploughing up the river from Highgate. It's going to be a day or so until you meet the Great Lake and thus reach the harbour at the other end of the lake, where you then get onto the train to Corvus. Yeah, so Hargrave is, as I say, in his early 50s. He's a Thurian, so I think that means he's from the north near Corvus. Yeah, he's his jacket looks to be ex-Signaran military, or at least ex-Signaran navy. Yeah, and he's happily smoking a pipe as he's at the wheelhouse.
Captain Hargrave, I've been meaning to talk to you. Hi, I'm Lord Zacharias Zinfandel. I know you've probably heard of that
I've
surname
never
before.
heard of your family, boy, but it's a pleasure to meet you. You're, Lelise.
Well, yes.
I can hear from your tongue, boy. I've been north there before.
You haven't heard of Admiral Zinfandel?
Never heard of him in my life, but I've fought with a number of people from Lael. Wonderful, wonderful soldiers.
Yes, well, thank you.
I
we're
think
well disciplined.
Yes, I fought with them.
You could tell how great fighters we are because our army is so small.
Oh, indeed, boy, indeed. They were salt of the earth when we were fighting against those damn Cadorans back in the day. And he spits at the deck
they're
as he
really trouble.
speaks about them. So, your cargo secure? The rest of your men are happy? I'm sorry that I can't provide you any more room on board the ship, but obviously there is only room for your friend here, Galen, and the other men that he's hired for this trip.
Of course, yes. It's fine. I come from a naval family. My friend Kato here he's a former naval officer himself, I believe. So, we're used to cramped confines and the sense of adventure here on the boat.
Indeed, boy, it's good. It's a good thing. Hey, what's he doing over there, right? You can't move that from there. That stays where it is. That's very valuable cargo for Corvus. If you move that,
And he's pointing in the direction of Molan, who's trying to shift things round for some reason, trying to make himself busy or look like he's doing something. Does anyone want to speak to anyone else? There's Molan, there's Tak, there's also, as I said, Galen.
I'll probably end
Molan
up talking
and
to
Tak
everybody
are
at some point.
So
Yeah.
Molan and Tak are the two heavies, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably get them in a game of cards or something like
Well,
that.
yeah, Tak actually does turn out to be a definite gambler, and you are in a heavy card game. The coins are stacking up high. You're playing a game of Signaran Rum, which is a variant game of some sort of card game.
Yeah.
You're barely understanding the rules though.
The coins are stacking up high, and that says something because Bragg is one of the players.
Yeah. Tak is about 5'8", but wide set. He's got a scar down his cheek. He's got a finger or two missing. He's got a nice gold tooth in his crooked smile, and he's happily playing cards against Bragg.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say, right, on the next hand, why don't we up the stakes a bit? So if we see a dove fly overhead,
Right.
I win. And he puts down the bet of like a few crowns on it. But if we don't see it in the next, let's see, and he kind of looks around for his pocket watch. If we don't see one in the next 10 minutes, I think that's a fair amount of time. Then you win.
A dove.
It has to be a
Not
dove.
Seagull or nothing.
No. No seagull, nothing like that. It has to be a dove. Then you
I'll
win.
take that bet.
Okay. Good.
Totally dove-based gambling fixing, isn't it?
Right, now back to the
I
game.
have a dove in my pocket.
And then he gets back to the game.
It'll be just finding out a bit about him, war stories, that sort of stuff. It's
Yeah, he's never worked in the military. He's worked all his life in Highgate, moving goods around. At one point, he did go south to Mercia, but he didn't really like it there, and then headed back to Highgate after a few years. He then looks around. Where's that boy? Brogan, bring us some more booze, god damn it. And you see there's a teenage cabin boy who seems to be like one of the only other workers on the boat. He's dishevelled, and he hops off a barrel, and he is also smoking a wooden pipe, though he's mostly no older than 15. And he's like, what do you want? You want more beer? Okay, leave it, all right? I'll go get it for you. And he heads down below deck to bring up 2 rather large tankards of some foaming beer. Right. Who else wants to speak to anyone?
I am mostly keeping to myself with regards to the passengers, because I'm a bit worried that some of them might pick up on the dubious mechanical device in the hold, or the fact I sometimes get down and talk to it. So I'm going to not be talking to people in general, apart from the rest of the team. Finch is going to be spending his time in his cabin, reading through notes taken from the Mechanicus, or doing maintenance on the Warjack, or occasionally muttering to the others, but otherwise being fairly reclusive.
I'll speak to the captain some, but
okay.
Mainly just 2 naval people talking.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hell, I thought Kato was with me when I was having that conversation.
He was.
Were you there, and then you're just like, all right, Zacharias is out of here. Now I'm gonna have the real conversation with the captain.
No, I didn't want to step on the
Navy
conversation. I didn't want to be like, and Kato's also there. And
did you know he thinks those 3 barges are a navy?
There is also, I would say, let's think. I would say, Finch, as you're below deck, as you're heading back to your cabin to mostly read over more of these copious notes of Bowden's, you spot someone else coming out from one of the other cabins, because there's one cabin for yourselves, there was one for Bragg, there's one, and the cabin you're in is also the one where Galen Reach also is staying with you. So it's pretty tight in there. Right. There's another cabin that's given over to Molan and Tack, and then the other actually no, they'll be in the crew cabin. So actually, that does mean that Galen is in his own cabin. The other cabin, the only other spare cabin for passengers, you watch a man walk out, and he's in a long kind of trench coat. And you do spot as he walks out that he has on his hip, as he buttons up his jacket. And, being in the company of one, you recognise a Magelock pistol.
As soon as the guy is out of line of sight, I'm not changing what I'm doing, like going to my room at the time. As soon as he's out of line of sight, I go do, and I'm gonna go and try and find Kato, and the priority of Kato, then Bragg and Zach, but Kato's the first priority of what to find, because this could be a gun mage having his merry old trip downriver. But A, I'm paranoid because we got an evil warjack on board, and B, he could just be trouble for some other reason. So it's find the Kato, hopefully before the Kato gets shot in a gun mage duel.
The gun mage, you watch as he moves out and heads up onto the main deck.
Yeah, I am hoping to find Kato ASAP at this point.
Kato is obviously up at the main wheelhouse, having a laugh talking about sailing, talking about naval battles, talking about the audits, and then
when I hear the sort of the this naval banter going on, I'll be like, right, zoom in on that place. I don't want to like speed up or anything. I'm going to be perfectly calm and ordinary, steady pace. Don't want to upset this gun mage. Just going to walk in for a perfectly normal conversation with Kato. And if I get there without any problems, he will be like, Kato, yes, just a quick word, if I may.
Sure. What is it?
Nod outside the wheelhouse, away from wherever this guy's gone. This guy. Now we're on the deck. Can I get a better look at the guy?
Yeah. Solomon is clean shaven. His hair is a mousy brown, but ends in kind of like a short ponytail. And he's got a gold ring through one of his ears.
I will just have a quiet, let's just lean over this barge and have a perfectly normal conversation, Kato, over the edge here. Let's watch the water. That chap over there, who you are not going to turn your head and look at, appears to be a gun mage.
Oh, cool.
Yes, cool, isn't it?
What? Yeah, and?
The timeliness is unfortunate.
Why?
What I mean is, given what we've got, isn't it a little bit... There aren't an awful lot of gun mages running around in general.
No, we're pretty rare.
Well, don't you think it's it might be more than a coincidence?
That there's suddenly one on the ship?
Yes.
Possibly. I mean, has he asked any questions? Has he been to the hold?
He's armed, wandering around armed.
I look at my hip and I look at him.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. If, I mean, do your schools have some sort of, I don't know, recognizable? Do you make secret hand signs when you meet one another? Is there some sort of uniform? Do you have pins? I don't know. Can you tell who this guy is and where he's from?
At that point, I'm just gonna look over, because I'm trying not to be so super obvious about it, but I'm looking around the deck just because, it's just surveying who's on there. And do I see the guy?
Yeah, you see him. He's there. He lights up a cigarette, a little cigarello, and he pulls up the collar of his jacket because the wind is quite cold, and just looks out over the passing terrain. Given that the paddle barge is, the thrum of the engine and the slap of the paddle wheel against the water as it's pushing up the river against the tide of it.
Finch is giving serious consideration. He's not going to do it, but he's giving serious consideration in his mind to force hammering the guy straight off the ship. Just off the barge. Like, get rid of that problem. Away. And no one ever saw him again.
Maybe we should just ask the guy what he's doing here.
Fine. Just be ready that if he doesn't like that question, things might get sticky.
Do you think gun mages were a violent sort?
They are military orders. You train to kill people. Yes, I think gun mages are a violent sort.
No one ever asked me about my time sailing or my hobbies, or as I start walking away.
I want to remind the group that Zacharias has asked about that plenty of times.
That's true.
You as you're discussing this, and you're basically outside the wheelhouse talking to Hargrave, kind of, but you're away from the from Hargrave, but near the wheelhouse, saying this. You watch as Galen Reach, makes his way up onto the top observation deck, walks past Bragg and peers over at the card game. Yeah, you close to winning, Bragg?
Well, it all depends on whether or not in the next 6 minutes, the boat tilts slightly to port, a seagull shits on the captain's hut, and actually, I'll be honest, I've completely lost track of where
It's a very complicated game of cards going on. Oh, good luck, boy.
It wasn't meant to be, but it has seemingly become one.
Oh, Tack, I didn't realise you were such a gambler at heart. Well, I'll leave you boys to it, if you don't mind. I have to go speak to Mr. Finch over there, and the other fellows.
And he dodders his way up, getting his cloak round him. He's balding and he's got greying hair. Oh,
Mr. Finch! I must speak with you, a matter of some concern.
All matters are of concern, are they not?
Yes. I mean, I've been down again and checked upon that strange warjack. It seems well secure.
You don't need to worry yourself about it.
I should be worried. It is my holy duty. What is it? Who is that fellow over there?
And I want you and Kato can make a perception roll.
Okay. Is it detection or just flat perception?
Flat perception.
Oh no.
13.
A 9.
Hold on. Yeah, actually, you can add the detection on there. Or
Still a 13.
12.
12. Okay, Kato. As when you watched Galen Reach come up on deck and walk past the.
Right, I meant 11.
When he walked past the gun mage did seem to keep a keen eye on Galen Reach as he walked past. Anyway,
who is that fellow over there? He's not in. I didn't realise the boat was going to be so full. I mean, there's obviously the crew and the boy, and there's Tack and Molan, and there's ourselves. I didn't realise.
Gun mage.
He's a gun mage. Oh. How'd you do this?
He's carrying a mage lock. I mean, he could be a thief of mage locks. But I think he's probably a gun mage.
Do you think he is working for someone?
They mostly are, I believe.
Do you think he is he has an interest in cargo?
I could not say, but I must admit I find myself a little bit concerned.
I'm very concerned, I must say.
Finch is glancing at Kato like, you see, even the weird old priest thinks I'm right. He's not saying that outright, but he's feeling strangely validated by the doddery old
feeding
guy.
your paranoia.
Feeding my delusions. It's a Morrowind plot.
So when we get to Corvus, and we should make sure we make due haste to Father Dumas. I have already ordered that the steam barge has passage all the way up to the university itself, even. Well, not to the university, of course. We'll go there in due time. To the cathedral, where we will unload there. Anyway, the sun is getting low, and my... he coughs a bit, and it's rather firm. I need to get below deck. I have things to read, and I must, by all means, make a good prayer tomorrow. Yes. There was something I was reading, some book. Yes, I'll leave you boys to it, though. It's been very good.
Yes, you go and
and if you can, make sure the boy brings me a nice warm dish of food when dinner's ready, and yes, and I may come speak to you before then. And he dodders off, and
when he's out of
Bragg again.
out of hearing, I'm gonna go.
Well done, Bragg. You should be doing very well. Pats you on the shoulder as he walks by.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's not such a hard thing. How did I win?
You can make a gambling roll.
You thought you won, but in fact, you lost 3 hands ago.
That's an 8. What does gambling come off?
Perception.
Then that will be an 11, I believe. What's my perception? Yeah, 11.
Yeah, you lose badly. It goes, see that there? That's a dove, and I think you'll also find I've got a full. I've got literally a. He puts out the cards because they've got various suits in the Iron Kingdoms. I believe this is what we call a
Lee's lady.
No. This is what you call a Carixian hand.
Oh.
And he takes all the coin there. Right, another round.
I don't know.
Not the Crixian hand, Gambit.
Right.
think I will sit here and drink my ale and muse over goings-ons.
So, you have your evening's meal brought to you on the observation deck by the poor deckhand, the poor boy who has to run back and forth bringing up plates of
I make
food.
sure some gets taken to the Illuminate because I want him in his room, away from the Warjack, just reading his fucking books.
Yeah, he's there.
Good.
And then, as the night progresses, you realise, you need to get some sleep. And you can head back to your cabins. Unless someone wants to stay on watch.
I'm going to stay on watch.
We can take shifts, I suppose.
Okay, Kato, you going to... Where, are you going to stay just above deck? Or are you going to walk through the whole lot?
I guess my naval training would probably have me just patrolling the deck.
Yeah.
Although occasionally I will go below deck, but most of my time will be above deck.
Excellent. You're above deck, pacing back and forward, enjoying another wonderful cigar that you mostly have, and you hear the ringing of a bell, and you then watch as Brogan, the cabin boy, runs up the steps, ringing this bell loudly. He's like, yeah, the captain said we need to get everyone. He needs everyone together now. Someone's dead. He starts ringing it, and he heads towards the main wheelhouse, ringing the bell, and then starts heading back down. And then runs through. As that's going on, and you guys, some of you mostly get roused by the ringing. You hear Hargrave is rapping on the cabin doors, bellowing, "Up! I need you all up now!"
Oh, dear me. Finch pulling on a coat, emerging from it, looking somewhat.
Galen, wrapped up in his cloak, opens the door and is like, I was trying to get some rest. Rest.
Come on, Master Illuminate. Let's bring Morrow's light to illuminate proceedings, shall we?
Yes, indeed. You're wasting. What is going on?
The captain brings you below deck into the main hold, and brandishing a lantern, casts it over what are 2 bodies, clearly 2 of his crew members who obviously patrol and guard the main hold. They're both dead.
Is
Someone's...
this the hold that our warjack is in?
Yes.
Do they look like they were crushed or like
Have they been
by...
horribly trauma smashed into the wall by an angry warjack?
Yeah.
How did
They
die?
have been shot.
Okay, good. It wasn't Bowden.
Okay.
And it
time
is,
for us to go
and
back to our
in
rooms.
more importantly, when you roll over the bodies and you get closer and you bring the lanterns close to the face, it's Molan and Tack. They've been shot in the head, Molan from the back, Tack from the front. These are the very guards that Galen had very men Galen had hired to help load up the warjack and clearly be guards for it. Their bodies lie at opposite ends of the hold, both facing the same direction.
So they were probably executed.
At one end of the hold is a tray of spilled food, fruit, meat strips, and 2 shattered ale mugs. It must have been while they were having supper or something like that.
Sure.
Meanwhile, obviously, if you're concerned, Bowden, the warjack, is still chained to the deck.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Unfortunately, we cannot ask the witness to this crime because everyone else will freak the fuck out.
The tarpaulin
We can't ask the
is
witness
tied
because there's
down,
people around.
though it
No
has,
one-
though the tarpaulin, though it is would have been put over the warjack, is pulled up on the one side.
Is the gun mage here? Has he been rounded up and brought here as well?
Yeah, Solomon. Sorry, not Solomon. That's a different
Mysterious
name.
gun mage.
There's another gun mage. I've got too many names. Not Solomon. That was a different name. What's the? Yeah, the gun mage.
Name around here.
Yeah. Well, it's one of Menoth's not
Favorite
priest,
names.
but yeah.
Every third Menite is called Solomon.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the gun mage is there. His jacket is looks is buttoned up, and he's like just a bit blurry eyed, and it's like he says like murder of 2 ruffians.
Murder most foul.
Terrible.
Gunshot. And did no one hear any gunshots?
I didn't hear nothing. I was
Or was
asleep
the
in my
officer on
quarters.
deck? Who
Well,
was
he
on
would-
watch?
Hey,
Right.
did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything, did I?
No.
So, okay. I know an ability I have that I'm not mentioning right now because I'm super suspicious. So I know that you can muffle a mage lock.
Yeah.
Do I see where like an exit, like where a bullet hole would be? Because we know how they exited their heads. Do we see where the shot went?
You could possibly start searching for that. As you maybe
Sorry.
do that, Hargrave calls over, Kelson, come here. What did you see? What did you hear? And Kelson explains that he'd come down to... he discovered the bodies when he came down to offer the guards more food from the kitchen. He, on discovering the 2 bodies, fled to find the captain and to report the murders. So you have him to question as well.
Well, I'm gonna try to find the bullets because I have a theory, but I want to confirm it without revealing that I too can muffle my gunshots.
So if you want to start doing some investigation, forensic science would be the best thing.
No one has it.
Given you don't have that, I will allow you to do a perception roll, but you can gain... Oh, let's see. I'll give you like +1 on a perception roll because you've got a background in firearms, so you kind of understand what you're looking for.
Finch has leapt to the assumption it must be this gun mage who did it, and I'm completely prejudiced on this.
Those
It
of
was
you,
him what did it. I know you did it.
you can make a detection roll, obviously, as well. Those of you who've got detection, you can do that.
With perception and my die roll and the +1, I'm at a 12.
You're at a 12. Good. Okay.
5 for detection.
I purely work off raw
13.
talent. I have no detection skill.
Okay. So
13 for detection from Bragg.
Okay. So So Kato, you look over the bodies, and you're beginning to pay. You're kind of good at piecing these things together because you kind of think about the kind of trick shots that you do. So the one man was killed from the front. The other one was shot from the back. The man that was shot from behind was killed at close range, because you can tell by the powder mark on the burn mark, the muscle, and also you can tell by the kind of blood splatter from the exit. But there would have also been because that close, there's spatter coming outwards from towards the person that would have shot them. Mm-hmm. So that's all you can determine from that. Then, does anyone have tracking?
Nope.
No. Okay. So, Bragg, from your looking around, what you do realise is that on what Kato has just suggested, you able to cast a lantern around, and you discern that there are some footprints in blood. And those footprints are patterns which match that of the first one to have been shot. That suggests he was facing the car, and you just look around, you're able to piece this together. He was facing the cargo door away from the warjack when he was attacked, and that his attacker then turned back to face the second man on the other side of the hold. So you've got an idea, you kind of think which order they would have been shot in, and as they were shot and their bodies stumbled about and blood was pouring from their wounds, they would have made footprints and mess before crumpling.
Okay.
So to me, that suggests that they knew who shot him.
Well, saw, at least.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't raise an alarm, which means that it's likely they knew who it was, in part,
And
well,
they didn't use that element of surprise to kill them both quickly.
I will let Finch. You can make a let's see. Would it be law or art? Yeah, a law roll.
Law as in L-A-W or L-O-R-E?
L-O-R-E, magical.
Magical one? Okay.
Yeah, the magical kind of law.
Oh, that's a good roll. That is... What's that? 16.
Yeah, because you think, hold on, has someone been messing with the warjack? And so you go along, you pull up the top, you open up the hatch on the top of it. The cortex is still there.
Okay, I thought okay, yep. Okay, but does it look like someone had cracked it open at all?
You would really need forensic science to know if someone's been thumbing around with it.
Also, I kind of presume that... No, but we did tell Bowden to be still, so he might actually just stay still.
I think you can do a detection roll. Do a detection roll, yeah.
That is 13.
Okay. You're not... I would say you feel like, having just opened up and checked it, and then you close it down, you're not sure whether it's your own fingers that have been messing around and disturbed the oil and grime on the hull of it, or someone else. But you think someone could have opened it up.
Presumably... So given what Bragg and Kato have said about positioning, does it look like the two people, like he came in, killed them, and then checked the warjack, or was he disrupted while he was checking the warjack?
From the way the shots are, I guess in your head, given you're quite an intelligent investigator that you are, it seems like someone was was messing around with the warjack and then was disturbed.
And that's why he's killed them. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Because I was trying to think, try to rationalise why I'd do it otherwise, and that makes sense. I want to get another. What I would like to do is just get a confirmation from Bowden that he's still in there and ticking over. But I'm a bit worried that even a slight movement of the warjack might make people freak out in the current situation. So that will have to wait until we can maybe get other people out of this room again.
Captain, would it be possible, please, for us to have the room? Every person who's walking around in here is potentially damaging evidence. If you could get everyone prepared on the main deck, once we've finished our investigation in here, we'll be up
Okay.
to talk to everyone individually.
Kato, because you now have a better understanding of where the shots came from with the blood spatter and the blood stains from the murder victims as they stumbled around in their last moments. You can make another detection roll because you now have a better idea of where the shots would have slammed into the hull. Well, the walls.
Ooh, I did really well on that one. 16 total.
Okay, you have now you get out your knife and you pry out from the wood the bullets and in fact one of them you realise isn't in the wood, it's still in the skull of the poor man, and you
Do I see the runes etched into the shot?
oh yeah, there's runes etched into the shot.
I'm presuming we have got people out. Bragg has got people out of the room before we start
Yes,
trying.
yeah.
And I will just have a quiet word with Bowden as well to say, like, are you still in there, mate? You know, presumably we've got like a thumbs up kind of system for quick responses by now.
Tap the floor twice if you're present, Bowden.
Yeah.
And the runes upon it, obviously. Do you have the rune reader ability?
I do.
But you're a gun mage, so you know this anyway. You look over the runes, and of course, you have to have the runes in place on the bullets to then invoke them if you're going to use them, even if you don't. So when you do your thunder strike, they're engraved on the bullet, ready. Even if you're able to shoot that, even if you don't invoke thunder strike, it's all got to just be in place if you're channeling arcane energy into them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you recognize the recognizable runes, which are those which silence gunshots.
Yeah, Finch is a go like this. So I walk over, kind of bring everybody closer. I have a glove on and a lot of blood in it. Because you just saw me take one of these out of a skull. Yeah, so these are just like the ones that I can do. And this room here...
I knew it was him. I knew he was trouble.
Wait,
Not you, obviously.
wait,
Not Kato.
Before theory leads evidence here, Kato, could anyone else have stolen that mage's gun and achieved this effect?
You can steal the mage's gun, but unless you're also a gun mage, you wouldn't be able to use the spells.
Yeah. If only there was a second gun mage on this boat that could have done it.
There's a second gun
Zach
mage?
says,
Oh.
looking at Kato.
I was on deck. I was patrolling. I was
Yeah.
occasionally I would walk down.
Timing is
The
very
rest-
unfortunate.
The rest
for
of us were asleep. Listen, I'm not saying you did it. I'm just saying
as a-
that other people might suspect you as a suspect.
And with
So
that,
guys
we're
be
gonna
careful
we're gonna
about how
leave
you
it at that
approach this.
wonderful cliffhanger as everyone looks at Kato as a suspect.
Just before that happens, Chris, did Bowden confirm that he's still in there? Did he tap the floor to confirm that
Oh
Bowden
yeah,
is
he's still in there.
present?
Yeah, he's still present.
Good. Good.
Great, okay.
Yep.
Great. Because that hadn't actually been stated, and I was starting to get worried that we were having to then
So,
go and find Bowden's cortex.
Everyone can have an additional experience point
Whoa, sweet.
for that.
Nice. 9 XP.
And we will finish off. So, if you've enjoyed this, the episode 1 is already on the Dark Days Radio YouTube. I'm going to upload, hopefully tomorrow, episode 2 onto there. Though you can still find it on our Twitch channel. You will find this episode on YouTube in like 2 weeks' time. Then, as I said, like next weekend, on the Saturday, I'm running a panel on politics and representation and to do with fantasy roleplay and 40k, because 40k is it satire or is it fascism? You've got these questions. And that's gonna look at like the price that you pay when you start off with with game settings that are clearly heavily satirical, and then over years those things get baked in, and like, you know, can we still see the satire in these games? Is it a problem? Is it not? So there's stuff like that. Also, as I said, we're running a session of Soulbound, which is going to be set in the wonderful realm of Shaiish, the realm of death, in the city of Glimsforge. One of my favourite locations in the Mortal Realms. It might have something to do with a certain Warhammer quest that has been released recently. And obviously on Sunday you can watch Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, run by David, starring Mike, starring Ben, and Crystal, and Chig, and Fiona as Madness. It's still ongoing in a festival in Bogenhafen where everyone's getting drunk and being murdered or murdering other people. Yes, so that's everything going on currently, streaming-wise. Episode-wise, we have had... What have we done recently? I think we did a Dark Hammer on Eldari, and we had
the Skaven Dark Hammer. That
Skaven! We did Skaven! Yeah, we did Skaven.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. And we also had a review of Alien the Hidden.
Alien the
RPG,
Hidden, yeah.
Which, could be totally exclusive or possibly a hoax.
Possibly a hoax. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the content you can find from Dark Days Radio currently. Yes, so again, I'd just like to thank everyone for taking part. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. So goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye.